I have noticed that a lot of vegans downplay crop deaths and many other forms of animal harm just because there is no exploitation. They are not necessarily against animal harm, they are against exploitation of animals. But then I was trying to figure out why. And so far it seems to me it has to do something with consent. Some might say it's about animal harm, but there could be exploitation done without inflicting harm. Imagine a guy sticks his private parts in a peanut butter jar and gives his dog to lick it off. The dog wouldn't be harmed in any way, shape or form. I have a sneaking suspicion vegans would say that's exploitation, sexual exploitation. But what would make it to be exploitation? As far as I can see, it would be lack of consent. Even if vegans are to say that killing plants to eat them is exploitation, they wouldn't consider that exploitation to be unethical. That also nudges me to think it's all about consent.
Animal exploitation. This is the idea that we are using animals for our human purposes in a way that there's an unfair power dynamic and basically humans are using them without them consenting to it. And consent, I think, is really what is key here.
If I'm right, and exploitation is doing something to animals in lack of their consent, then seemingly crop and other kind of animal deaths would have to be equally unethical. Crop deaths wouldn't be exploitative, sure, but it would share the element which makes exploitation to be unethical to begin with. Both would be something done to sentient animals without their consent. So wrongness of both would have to be modified by that very element, which results in the same levels of wrongness. It could be even argued that crop deaths and other kind of animal harm is even more unethical compared to some exploitation, because it necessarily involves harm. Maybe I'm wrong and it's not about consent. Well, the same logic would apply. If crop deaths and other forms of animal harm share the element which makes exploitation to be unethical to such high degrees, then it would all have to be equally unethical, and that would place vegans in a very awkward position.